This is the fastest car in Forza Horizon 5. And I know what you're thinking. It's only going like 270 miles per hour. How can this be the fastest car in the game? Well, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because this is that same car, the Koenigsegg Jesko, but instead of just being stock like the last one was, this is how the car performs with a tune on it. And in Forza Horizon 5, your cars go significantly faster if you tune them right. So today, I'm going to be showing you how I tune my cars to go pretty fast. Because if you don't know, in Horizon 4, that's kind of how I got popular. I made cars go really fast. So, let's jump into it. Now, first things first, you want to pick your car. And there are a few cars in this game that are a lot harder than others to tune. And just by default, pretty much all of your Toyotas are going to be a lot harder to tune because they have a lot more customizations, a lot more engines you can put into them. So we're going to go with this Toyota Supra for today. Let's pick a tough one. Now, there's a little cheat that you can do if you want to upgrade your car well. So long as you don't have any upgrades already unlocked, that makes it a lot easier. I think this car does have a couple. Okay, they haven't bought any of the engines, which is good news. So what you want to do is you go to fine-tuning setups. And keep in mind, this can work for drifting too if you want to tune in a similar way. You're going to go to the description and you're going to type in top speed, and then for keyword, top speed, best for speed, and search. And now you're going to look at the top speed in the top right corner, find one. They're pretty much all going to be the same. So it doesn't really matter which one you pick. Let's pick this S2 972. Install it. You're going to spend a bit of money. That's okay. But you're going to use this as a guideline. The reason you're buying this is so you don't have to guess, is this the best part for my car? That's why it works better on a fresh car. You're going to unlock the setup. And when we go to the engine now, if I can find it, you're going to install everything that is already owned. So as you can see for engine swaps, they didn't actually put any of those on. They made it all-wheel drive, and they put on this turbo. And if we go back to over here, as you can see, they put on the best performing for all the horsepower stuff. This is probably from when we had it as the A800, so I'm not going to toss that on. But then you can just go through, and you can be certain that everything you're putting on here is the highest quality of what you want. I think this just does anti-lag, yeah, and no one really likes that. So go through and do that. Is install every single part that they had on their car, and then we're gonna move on to the fine tuning, because that's kind of where you might need my help a little bit. As you can see, we're at 970 in the top corner. I think there was like a set of rims that I didn't put on that maybe he had on. Pretty much the exact same. So now we get to go to the custom tuning. And yeah, you're probably going to need a bit of help here. Tire pressure, you can do these all the same. Keep in mind, for pretty much every single car, it's a copy paste is what I do for every single one of these categories. So we're going to just start at the beginning and make our way through. So with tires, I generally leave the front, but the rear I like to be a lot flatter. I feel like it gives you more grip to get started. Gearing doesn't have to be scary. You can adjust it so that it's a bit more linear like this. You don't have to, like, see how they're all gradually getting smaller? You can just leave it and stretch out the final drive so that that final gear, the very tip of it is at the very end. As you can see, like, it's just right here. It's right at that far corner. And as you can see, our top speed is already pretty much what the other guy had. It's 279.4 miles per hour. Alignment, you don't really have to touch this. You can take the camber away completely if you want to, but it doesn't really matter. Anti-roll, I always do stiff in the front, soft in the rear. For springs, I do soft in the front, stiff in the rear, but then for the ride height, you want the back high and the rear low, just like this. This kind of helps with drag racing too. You can follow a similar guide, but with drag racing, the gearing gets a little more different. Damping, you can touch if you want. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. Aero, this is only affected if you put the Forza wing and the Forza splitter on the car, which I don't recommend you doing anyway, so you'll probably never have to touch aero. Brake, don't really worry about it. We're not planning on stopping. And then for the differential, full acceleration and 0% deceleration in the front and in the rear. And for the balancing, this is how much the wheels are spinning in the front relative to the back. So like, is most of the power in the front? We have 60% of our power going to the rear tires and 40% going to the front, is essentially what this means. And you get to play around with this a little bit. You can see if giving more to the rear is going to add more of a top speed. So if we went all the way to 100, our top speed actually drops. But if we go to 50-50, our top speed goes up a little. So we're probably going to leave it at 50-50, and then you're going to go ahead and apply. And that's all you're doing. That's really it. I know when I first got into tuning, it seemed really daunting because there's so many options and you don't know what to change. But for top speed tuning, it's really straightforward and simple, especially when you have someone already putting the parts on your car for you. It's kind of like a cheat code that lots of people don't ever think of doing it that way. And I might get comments of people saying this isn't how you tune. And sure, maybe you are just the world's best tuner and you know everything about cars, but I don't. And I still made a pretty darn fast Supra in next to no time at all, and you can too. If this video helped you at all, let me know down below. And if there's any other Forza tutorials you want, make sure you comment them. I'll see if I can get to them. As always, we'll see you boys in the next one. I'm out. Oh, peace.